Assalamu alaikum. I welcome you all here in third class of week first. Um, okay, as you all know that in the last class we did talk about the types of communication, and in that class we discussed the first type of communication, that is verbal. And in verbal communication we talked about two types, that is oral communication and written communication. Now we are going to see the second type of communication, that is non-verbal communication. So what is non-verbal communication? Non-verbal communication is communication without words. Now it's opposite to verbal communication. In verbal communication we discussed that it is done through words, whereas non-verbal communication is done without words. Now the question would be there in your mind that how is it possible that any communication which is done without words? If I give you an example, that suppose a candidate who has entered in the room in front of the interview panel, and if the facial expressions of that candidate is such, like he seems to be very nervous and he seems to be very confused, then no matter how much he has prepared for that interview throughout the night, the impression would be there upon the interview panel before speaking those words by the candidate. How? What would be the impression? The impression would be that this candidate is very nervous, he cannot give interview properly, or he cannot be successful in this interview. Before speaking, before speaking those words, before speaking those words, before using those words, he that impression would be there on the interview panel. So this is what non-verbal communication. So non-verbal communication is communication without words. It is a process of communication through sending and receiving wordless message. Wordless message means without use of words. Without use of words means, look at these two individuals, they are using their gestures, right? So these use of gesture is actually what non-verbal communication. Again, I give you an example. For example, how do you come to know that that person is a doctor? With the help of his white coat, you come to know that he is a doctor. Although that doctor is not using the words that I am doctor, only with the help of that white coat you come to know that he is a doctor. So that white coat is actually telling you something. It is giving you a message. It is sending a message of something or another, and the other person is understanding that message with the help of that wordless message. So non-verbal communication means communication without words. It is a process of communication through sending and receiving wordless message. Okay, now what is the power of non-verbal communication? Non-verbal communication is the most powerful form of communication, more than voice or even words. Non-verbal communication helps to create your image in others' minds, and even you can express your emotions and feelings in front of others, which you are unable to express in words. Yes, this is the power of non-verbal communication, that it gives the impression to another person even before you speak any word. How? For example, if verbal communication is a picture without colors, non-verbal communication adds colors to that picture. If you are not adding colors, means if you are not adding, for example, if a person is speaking, he is using words, but if he is standing like a statue, he is not moving, he is not having eye contact, what do you think? You would all say that he is just a statue. So, if you are not adding your body movement, if you are not adding loudness of your voice, if you are not adding pitch, pitch means rise and fall of your voice, then that would be called as non-verbal, sorry, a picture without colors. So you have to add colors in it with the help of your non-verbal communication. So non-verbal communication has a strong force, it has a strong power to make your verbal communication more interesting, to make it more impressive. So non-verbal communication is the most powerful form of communication, more than voice or even words. Non-verbal communication helps to create your image in others' mind. Image in others' mind, for example, I gave you an example of a candidate who is going for interview. If his facial expressions are such that he seems to be nervous, so he is giving his impression. But if he seems to be very confident, so others are getting idea about that candidate that yes, he seems to be very confident. So facial expressions are also included in non-verbal communication. So the others get the idea through your non-verbal communication. This is the power of non-verbal communication. Now, what could be the forms of non-verbal communication? Yes, these are the forms of non-verbal communication. First is eye contact. Yes, if you are speaking, if you are using the words means verbal. But if you are lacking eye contact, like if you have presentations in your class, what happens? Your teacher usually asks you to maintain eye contact, that you have to face your audience. But if you are just speaking, you are look up on the roof, or you are looking outside, you are avoiding your audience, it means you are lacking confidence. So you are just speaking, but you are not adopting non-verbal. Same is the case with body movement. Yes, if you are speaking and you are just sitting or standing like a statue, so it lacks non-verbal communication. In the same way, your gestures means if you want to point out something, so you should use your finger towards that. So that is actually the use of gestures. Physical appearance means what? Non-verbal. Yes, if you I give you an interesting example. If a teacher is entering in the class and she is sorry, she is in a very such having a such dressing, um, wearing a very heavy dress, jewelry, um, very heavy and strong makeup, red lipstick, and all that, then what would be your idea, expressions, and feelings at that? Definitely, you would say that either she has come to any wedding ceremony or in the class. So, physical appearance is what? Physical appearance means how you have been dressed up according to situation. That also gives an idea about a person to others, right? Fragrance, yes. If you have ever observed any person who has used a very strong fragrance, so you would get an idea about that person, that how stupid is he that he doesn't know the sense of using fragrance, the right fragrance. So fragrance is also included in non-verbal. Touch, yes, touch, for example, if your boss has come and is just tapping on your shoulder and appreciation is encouraging you, is appreciating you, so that is also included in non-verbal. Although he is not speaking there, he is just using his hands to encourage you, so that is also non-verbal. Facial expressions, yes, facial expressions of either sadness or happiness, grief or sorrow, they also tell something, although the person is not speaking, but only facial expressions itself tell you. Then, in the same way, posture means your body position. What is your body? Sometimes you would have noticed that a person is standing with a very awkward body position. So, body position tells that how much sense the other person is having to deal with any environment. Then voice should have loudness according to the situation. It should have clarity. It's not just only the words. सिर्फ बोलना नहीं है, but how you are speaking, that is also included in non-verbal. Pitch is the last, that is the rise and fall. Rise and fall means, for example, if you are speaking in Urdu or in any other language, so you people speak in a very a different style, with rhythm, with music. In the same way, when you people speak in English, why don't you say the question is, what is your name? Up in normal routine, you don't add rise and fall. You just simply say, what is your name? It should be asked like a question. Question should be like this: what is your name? What's your name? So rise and fall has been added. आवाज का ऊंचा और काम नीचा आना, that is actually called as rise and fall. So all these things are very important for adding life in your verbal communication, and this will be possible with the help of non-verbal. And while talking about written communication, what will be the effect of written communication? So written communication, for example, the presentation of the paper, you would have come across with many situations, like if a person is or if a student is writing an application on a torn page, छोटे से पेज पे, with a very untidy writing, गंदी handwriting के साथ you have written an application. So what impression you are giving? You are giving an impression that either the student is non-serious, he is just fulfilling a formality, whereas if you check that paper which is with very good presentation, with very good handwriting, so that tells that yes, this person is a serious person for that. In the same way, color combination, your tidy writing, your good handwriting, all these things adds in non-verbal communication that has an effect on written communication. So this was all about your non-verbal communication, and I'm just telling you that what you have to do as an assignment, you have to write advantages of non-verbal communication at both levels, both verbal, spoken as well as written. You have to, again I'm repeating, you have to write the advantages of non-verbal communication on both oral as well as on written, right? So you have to just think about yourself. No need to get worried that from where I will get, or no, just think about it. What will be the effect of non-verbal, or what is the advantages of non-verbal on both oral as well as written? So I hope you would have understood. So this was all about the first week. We started with the definition of communication, then we discussed components, then we discussed types. In types, we have talked about verbal, then we have talked about non-verbal. In verbal, we have discussed oral as well as written, and in non-verbal, we have talked about that how it has effect on both oral as well as written communication. So this was all about your lecture, discussion about verbal as well as non-verbal communication.